good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxchair, on the show this evening. It's Linda and Juicy. Evening, boys. Evening, girls. How we doing?
Evening, Oxchair. Evening, Juicy. Evening, everyone. I hope you're all well.
Good evening, good evening.
Well, there's only one place to start, I suppose. I think we have to skip forward and maybe miss out last night's match and go straight to the draw. Linda.
Oh, the draw. Yes, absolutely fantastic, Ox. 3 really good teams. A couple of teams we haven't played before, I'm understanding, on the European stage, Liverpool and Napoli. So that's a change for us. Obviously, Liverpool just across the border, so that'll be interesting. And obviously Ajax with Big Bassie coming back. You couldn't have written the script for that. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. And what a result last night.
Juicy?
Wow, just absolutely fantastic. And it's happened all so quickly, hasn't it, Oxchair and Linda? From going through last night.
Quickly. I've heard that draw called a lot of things, but no quickly.
Oh no, I'll get onto that. But in terms of the general, from qualifying and then within 24 hours, less than that, not knowing the group stage. But yes, as an event, my goodness, what on earth was that all about? I mean, you and I could have done that within 5 to 10 minutes, Ox. I don't know why they take so long to draw a few balls out of a few plastic boxes. But,
well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. They certainly drag it out, Linda.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, the thing about having the different pots, you kind of get your head around that in terms of, the champions and the runners-up in the respective leagues. But how you can only end up in certain pots thereafter, it bamboozles you. And then obviously all these guests that they have on, but it certainly seems to have grown a bit arms and legs over the years, Ox. However, I haven't watched it for a few years, so...
like the rest is.
Yes.
It's the only draw I've ever known. I've had to go for a shave halfway through it, you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Aye, well, Juicy, we've got to be pleased. It could have been worse, could have been better, but doesn't matter where you go, you're going to place top sides.
Every single group looks competitive. There was one or two groups that look seriously difficult. We were very close to getting one of those groups. Thinking about the Group C with Bayern, Barca and Inter, whoever the pot 4 team was going to find that difficult. But every group looks competitive, and we'll have some opportunities with these teams. And we know that how strong we are at Ibrox, guys. And that's something that we can very much use to our advantage. And after the performance away from home last night, and how we played in Dortmund, and how we set up to frustrate teams, Braga and Leipzig, we know that we can play, Ox. This is a team caliber now, my friend.
Good point, mate. The results are bearing that out. Right, we'll park the draw. And we'll try to get some sleep. We can maybe revisit it, and we'll start talking about last night's match. Juicy was on last night quickly, Linda. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, Ox, I mean, I did think that overall last night we were, just slightly the better team and probably thoroughly deserved to go through. I think across the two ties, it was kind of two evenly matched teams, and I think we kind of thought that when the draw, was made, and we knew who we were going to get if we got past USG. They might have been slight favourites last night because they were at home. But this team just continuously shows up in these big games, Ox. This current team, and as I said, I thought that that we probably just edged it. There was a few spells in the game. Expectedly, they had pressure. We maybe looked a wee bit kind of unnervy at the back, but that's to be expected. But I thought we held our own, created chances. We were a wee bit fortunate with the goal to a certain degree. However, that was a press that they've been working on, and Tillman did brilliantly. And Big Cholak's got his so-called tap-in, but he still had to finish it.
Cholak, I'm getting a feeling he's a favourite of yours, Linda.
Oh, that would be telling. But yes, let's just say that the Stevie G cardboard cutout's well in the box now.
Stevie G, juicy. I wonder what he's thinking, eh?
Well, you know that he hasn't had the greatest starts of the season for his club, Aston Villa, and of course they finished last season very poorly, and we all know he has aspirations of wanting to go to Liverpool. Of course, he's been with us, so he must be looking at that and thinking, what have I done? And now that's not to say he won't get opportunities in the future, but he's certainly got a lot of work on his hands with his own club at the moment, Ox. But it just shows you how things can change very quickly in the world of football.
Yes, it does. Well, his choice, he sort of made his bed line it. I've always had the greatest respect for Stevie G, what he done for us, but it's gone, Linda. Gio's the man.
Yeah, Ox. When you think about when he left, we were all feeling quite gutted, and then obviously what transpired after that. That Hibs semi-final seems a long way away now, doesn't it? And then when Gio came in, he was the man that we all wanted in terms of the names that had been mentioned. And honestly, we just cannot argue with what he's done on the European stage. I think I read something today that says that he's won his last 6 knockout ties in a row, Ox. The aggregate score. I mean, that's good going in any way, shape or form, isn't it? Including the 2 Champions League games this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the Union, PSV, Leipzig, Dortmund, Braga, Red Star Belgrade.
Yeah. Fantastic, Ox. And I mean, we have got to see that this season, as we've started in the league, there's certain parts of that we're not overly happy with, but you have always said you can only sort of critique what you're seeing, and there is some work to be done, I think, in the SPL, the Premier League, and the way that we're playing there. And as you guys said last night, maybe we need to stop giving them so much respect, which is what we seem to be doing, or overthinking it. But in Europe, the guy's been an absolute genius for us. I mean, you just cannot take that away from him.
Here. I would like to start with the standouts last night. I just want to mention somebody who would there go, the major plaudits last night, but Tom Lawrence has definitely grown into this shirt. I was a bit sceptical. Would he be able to cut it Derby? You don't know. And obviously he's an experienced pro. Juicy, I don't know, he gives us something, eh?
He comes across as a very technically gifted player, in my opinion, and he's not afraid of doing things that we've been calling out for quite a while, haven't we? Midfielders taking shots from distance and having a go. And he had 1 or 2 efforts that didn't go quite where he wanted, but he was so unlucky to not score just before we actually scored our goal. And had that one gone in, the keeper was beaten, there'd have been massive plaudits in terms of the quality of the goal. Every goal is still means the same at the end of the day. And I know, we got our goal from hustling and pressurising, and it was a different kind of goal. But they all count and they all mean the same. But Lawrence, he brings something that it's a new added element, isn't it, in terms of what we didn't really have in our team last season, in terms of a player who's prepared to make things happen. And when you mix that with a little bit of Tillman and the technical elements that he brings, we're starting to see that now. And I know some people, Ox, have been a little bit concerned about some of our new players. I think the majority are working out. I know not all of them have had the game time.
Yeah. The forward players, London, the forward players, Tillman, Colak, Lawrence, they've scored goals. Maybe but we've not seen Ridvan or Ben Davis, so we're saying what's wrong there. But the forward players, we can't argue.
Yeah, they've been like a breath of fresh air, Ox. And it's really good that the goals are being shared across. I know Cholak's got the 5, isn't he? God, what a start he's made, eh? But the rest of them have started to chip in too. We do need more from like people like Ryan Kent and that, but that's obviously that. Hopefully that will come. But you're right, at the back, we haven't seen anything of Ridvan. I think they're obviously maybe just giving that boy a chance to settle in. But, you know, you can't take it away from Borna Barisic. I don't think you could actually drop Borna just now, Ox, unless you were maybe resting him. You know, I don't know. It's a difficult one because he sometimes goes off the boil and we're all looking for somebody else to come in. But I think Borna's really picked up his game.
Aye, listen, we know that Borna's a capable player, but he seems to do okay in Europe. You know, he uses. Well, everybody last night, Juicy, everybody gave us everything they had, didn't they?
Yeah, there was no performance that you could even suggest for one moment was poor. It was a real group effort, and we knew that it needed to be. We were going to have to bring levels from some of our performances from last season to get through this tie because, you know, we knew it was a competitive team that we were playing against. And I think as far as Borna goes, even some of his harshest critics on this station would have to acknowledge that his performances have improved recently. I'm not worried about Ridvan Yilmaz because I know he hasn't had much of a start yet, Oxjer, but in the photos and the videos that we saw last night, you could see he was loving it. He is involved in that team. He'll get his chance. So I'm not concerned about him, you know?
Sorry. Just the video last night, just.
Absolutely fantastic, wasn't
you
it?
just go that one, yeah?
I'm trying not to laugh.
Yeah, well, hopefully the boy will develop. Right, I'm going to put this to you before we get the phone lines open. I thought Glenn Kamara last night in the first half was the best footballer in the park. And in the second half, I couldn't choose between Sands and Connor Goldson. There you go. Linda.
Yeah, I thought Kamara was outstanding, Ox. The way he just was picking the ball up in the middle and just moving forward with the ball and not then releasing it, not holding on. But he was definitely that kind of a out ball, wasn't he? He just looked back to what we know he can play like. And it's all about trying to get him and, you know, Gio playing him in the right position. And obviously, as you said, he seems to be better in Europe. The second half, I would probably maybe say Sands. I thought John McLaughlin played really well too, Ox. I think they all get pass marks. But yeah, I wouldn't disagree with your choices in terms of who were the actual players in the match for us.
Yeah, there's no mention Tillman. I thought there was loads of them. Juicy, your thoughts?
Oh, just buy him now. Just buy him. He took a few matches, obviously, to get up to fitness. You know, he didn't join us early in the summer, did he? He came in a bit later. But we could see from very early on that he looked technically gifted. And you know, for me, he's owning that number 10 role now. And he's replaced Aribo fantastically well. And, you know, I know that they do exactly. Now I know that guy did well for us, but football is an ever living, moving beast, and you know players will be sold and players will leave. And you have to replace those guys with hopefully better players. And so far, I don't think anyone listening could say that they are unhappy with what Tillman is producing so early into getting starts for us. I know we've used him a little bit sparingly. He was clearly intentionally rested for the league match at the weekend. But we're into the group stages now. So what I'm saying, guys, is unleash the Tillman. I want to see him domestically dominating.
All right. What did you make of the system, Linda? I had it as a 4-4. Tillman could go anywhere he wanted, and then Cholak working his socks off up front.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair enough. And Lundstrom seemed to get a wee bit further forward at times, Ox, didn't he? Because he had that terrific shot, and a couple of times he was up on the edge of the box. But I would agree with that. I mean, it can quickly kind of revert to the sort of 4-2-3-1 as well. But Tillman seemed to be the one that was trying to get closer to Čolak, and I think that made a big difference. Obviously, that's why we got the goal too. And what a terrific shot Tillman had as well, Ox, didn't he? He was very unlucky.
I thought that was in London. I thought when I left his boot, it was in.
Yeah, and we were saying at the time, why was there nobody following up the shot? Because it came off the goalkeeper. But see, when you watch it back, Čolak had made a brilliant run. He had taken a defender away and left the space for the shot. So that's why he wasn't really in a position to follow up the shot. I think I heard you mention last night these runs that Čolak's making. He is a terrific penalty box striker, isn't he? And he's getting a bit better in the link-up play too.
I enjoyed it. It was a startling result for us. Juicy, I think we'll get these phone lines on. What do you think, mate?
Oh, let's get them in, Oxshire.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Juicy, I'll have a pound with you. Hand us on. I can guess who the first caller will be.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking the Malteser kid.
Oh.
Yeah. I think she'll need to get restraining order out. Anyway, the players, the fans, the management team, the board of directors, what a result. I was speaking to a lot of people today, Linda, a lot. And I did say I wanted Liverpool in front of some of my work colleagues because I said if Man United can beat them, anybody can beat them. I didn't think it did very well. But people were saying the journey's complete now. That's it. Then we can part that and let's move on and let's take this club even further forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Ox. Definitely, the journey is complete, and I think a lot of Rangers fans share that sort of thought. And we can park that now, as you say, and really look forward. When we didn't obviously get the league to get the automatic entry, we knew it was going to be tough, Ox, and it's difficult to win these qualifiers, particularly because they come right at the beginning of the season, and obviously we didn't manage it last year. But it's absolutely terrific, as you said, for the club, the fans, the board, the revenue, just the prestige being at that top table again. Everybody's absolutely over the moon. And it doesn't really matter what happens now. You want to give a good account of yourself, but it's just being there. But yeah, definitely that's the end of that particular journey for us.
Juicy.
Yeah, it's a really good point by Linda with regards to the qualifiers, but I don't want to be in a position again where we have to go through those, thank you. So let's get some automatic action going. But now that we're through them, Oxshire, we can actually look back and go, fantastic that we got through them, fantastic that we performed well in general and managed to get through all four of the matches. But also, from a revenue perspective, those 2 extra home games will actually go quite nicely from a financial point of view as well.
Would you reckon they'd be worth a couple of million?
Hopefully.
Yeah, nearly 100,000 on the revenue, yeah. A couple of million profit, maybe. That'd be fair.
Yeah, and that sounds about right. When from what we were talking about last season with the Europa League home matches, so that's 5 home Champions League matches that we're going to have in the bag before Christmas, and of course, 3 wonderful away ties as well. 2 teams, as Linda said, that we've never played competitively before. So that's really good for the away day fans to go and enjoy those places.
Yes. As far as I know, they're all back safe and sound for last night. The Rangers Radio lads had a report this morning. But Ireland, it's exciting times, and the board of directors, they must be chuffed.
Oh, definitely. Just with obviously the run we had last year, the player trading sales that we've done, Ox, and then obviously this guaranteed Champions League money. I think I saw some figure kicking about the day. You're talking about best part of 70 million anyway in terms of the revenue from Europe, and then you add on the player sales. And obviously, as JC said, it's the for the fans too. The Champions League music going to be at Ibrox, and then the away fans just seem to have a fantastic time as well. So it's something to really look forward to.
I mean, that's the longest that mob's been in Europe for nearly 20 years.
Well said.
Where are we? Bob, I've been joined by a caller. Evening caller.
Evening caller.
Oh, I warned you. How we doing, baby?
Hi. Hello, Ox. Hello, Linda and Juicy. How are you? Where do I start?
Hello, Davey.
Juicy.
How you doing?
Juicy, we may well take the rest of the night off, mate. Carry on, David.
Right, thank you. I've followed Rangers for over 60 years. I've been through ups and downs, great days, sad days, Ibrox disaster, Barcelona, and on. And when we went, where we all know we went. Now that journey is totally complete, I have never felt so proud in all my life, and that was last night, because, and I'll tell you this as well, I couldn't watch the last 15 minutes. Janice was on standby for an ambulance.
You gave me a shout out to give you some money for the meter for the side of your telly.
I'm trying to be diplomatic here. But I'll tell you, the achievement in finishing that journey, somebody said every Rangers supporter this morning can walk out that door and look at the rest of them and say, but I don't want to swear, but it was sort of, get that out of you.
Well, that'll do, mate. That'll do. We'll accept that for you. I know. I get your sentiment. Juicy bear.
Love the passion there, my friend. Love it. Absolutely. We've had detractors, and I think that's a very polite way of saying it. But we've reminded everyone the last several years how formidable we can be. And on that European scene, we've seen it rolling and growing. And it was actually the words from the commentator as the match finished last night were very good, I thought. He said, I can't remember the exact words, he said something along the lines of, from Pedro standing in a bush to this in just a 5-year period. That's amazing in terms of the development that we've seen from this team. From what Stevie took on, a club that was, quite frankly, in a mess in terms of its structure and its setup, and what he put in place, and what Gio has then taken and developed even further. I think we can all be very, very proud. But as Linda just said, that part of the process is complete, and we continue to build, and we continue to push, and let's make some new goals now.
Here, Juicy. Here. It's new goals now. Yeah, it's done. Davey, I really appreciate your sentiments, and I don't think you're alone in how you're feeling today, mate. Listen, it's not our greatest victory, maybe not our greatest game, but when you look at the thing it's become, the journey 10 years ago, it was 2012, we were playing in a hedge, and where are we now, 10 years later? What did they achieve? What did they actually achieve, and what did they try to do? apart from benefit one club, and it's all backfired on them, Davey.
Very, very true words. Very, very true words. The whole point is to get that achieved, where the disappointments are Seville losing the league, and we weren't getting this, we weren't getting that, and Everton went on that one game, and I must make a public apology to that squad, because the night before I was turning into them and I was saying to you, I don't know where we're going to get that, and I still don't know where we got that performance, because it was outstanding. Okay, we were lucky a couple of times, nothing to do with it. How we played, nothing to do with it. Getting into that pot the night was what it was all about. And if you can't feel proud when that draw was getting made and that music started playing, there's something not right.
Just when you said you can feel his passion, that's not for me or you, by the way. Just like you know.
I'll go now.
That's a shame, Davey.
I don't, mate. I love it. Bring it on.
Oh, he comes over here. If we were nice to him and think about something wrong, that right, Davey?
You're dead right, aye. No, it's the best show in town.
Aye. Davey, now you've had time to reflect, pick out your 2 stars for last night, apart from myself, of course.
Well, there was 11 stars there, plus...
Come on, I'm putting you on the spot. 2 stars.
Tillman stands out.
Right.
2, Tillman and Sands.
Well said, mate. Well said. Anyway, we've been joined by Ryan. Evening, Ryan.
Hi, hello guys. How you doing?
All right, mate. You're a bit quiet, mate.
Yeah, do you know what the problem is? It's my phone. The speaker's broken on it.
Right, okay, carry on. If it gets too quiet, I'll give you a shout. Carry on.
You caught me out last night. I was in my bed and you swung the back. But listen, what's that result last night for the Glasgow Rangers? Brilliant. And do you know what? We can get out this group. We can win. If my memory serves me right, 9 points gets you out the group in the Champions League. And
I think teams have got out the group with 5, 6 and 7, mate.
Yeah, but when we used to play in the Champions League, I can always remember it was 9 points guaranteed you out the group. We can win these 3 games at Ibrox. We can do this, but you know what? Gio needs to release a wee bit of money here. We need a few players in. We can do this. A brilliant time. Unbelievable. Last night was amazing. And we can do this. We can get out this group.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
sorry, on you go, Linda, my fault.
No, I was just going to say, I think Ryan's got a good point about the games at Ibrox. I think, this is obviously a big step up in quality again, but at Ibrox, we would fancy ourselves to put on a really good performance at Ibrox. It's whether or not we've got the quality to actually win the games against these teams, but it is a really good point Ryan's making about whether or not any money is going to be released to Gio to spend, because I think we probably do need a couple of players. There's been lots of chat about if you could buy 2 players, what positions would you want to fill right now? So I think it would be a bit unwise not to spend money, Ox. I think the board would probably be looking to release some money to Gio, I think.
Well, there's the point, Linda. What's the 2 positions then?
Well, for me it would be, and I know we've got somebody waiting to come through, but I would be still looking to go out and get a centre back, Ox. And I'm still not convinced that we'll fill that right-sided midfield position with somebody who's good to go now. There's people there with, Matondo, we've not seen enough of him, I know. Scott Wright is okay. But that would be my 2 positions.
He didn't do okay last night in his cameo. Jeez, he never thought seen a ball last night. How many times did he run away from him?
Yeah. But yeah, I would go with a central defender and a right-sided midfielder.
Okay. All right. What about yourself, Ryan? What would the positions for you?
Well, position for me is away from home, forget it. But at Ibrox, I would go with a central midfielder, number 8, an attacking player, and another striker. I would go for players who's got to get his goals at Ibrox and get us out of this league in the Champions League. I think we're under the cosh away from home, but I would go for players that have got to get us the wins at Ibrox and get out of this league. Because we can certainly give these teams a bloody nose at Ibrox.
Juicy Bear.
I agree totally with what Ryan has said there, and a combination of what Ryan and Linda have said in terms of players is what I would be wanting. I strongly agree we need a right midfield, a right wing. That position isn't locked down yet, is it? And we need something there because Wright, Matondo, Fashion, Jury's still out, and I think Fashion's preferred position is left wing. But he's not having that opportunity there, and I think Oxford, we really do need an additional striker. We've spoken at length about the fitness of Kamar Roof, how he's a quality player, but his sustained fitness seems to be difficult. Although he's close to returning, which is great news, and I hope he can sustain it. Alfredo, of course, well documented this week. We don't need to go into that for the moment. Leaving just Antonio Kolak as senior strikers. I know Ure was on the bench last night, but that was the only other recognised striker that we had in that matchday squad. So I think we need another forward player because this is extremely intense now, guys, in terms of fixtures. From now until the World Cup starting, it's going to be 3 matches a week. And when you consider that that's League Cup, Champions League, we're going to need that good coverage across the piece to cater for all those match types.
Would you go for that guy, Mick Lynch? He's a top striker.
No.
Hey, we've been joined by Alex for the show. Evening, Alex.
Again.
Oh, you with us, Alex? Oh. No, he's not with us.
Can I make a small point before I go, guys?
Yes, of course you can, Ryan.
I think CVG will be very envious of these Champions League group games against Liverpool. I think that's where he wanted to be. And a great guy, I love him, done us wonders, but I think he'll be sitting watching that on TV wondering what could have been for him.
Good evening, Oxford.
How are we doing, Alex? All right, mate?
Wonder.
I'll come right back to you, Alex, but just let Ryan finish. Hi, Ryan.
Oh, sorry.
I'll let old Davey answer that, and then we'll come back to you. Davey, in you come.
What was the question?
Oh, I know, it was a while ago. Linda.
No, I'll answer it.
On you go, Davey.
Thanks, Linda. Thank you. He keeps cutting me off, so he does. I'll agree totally with you. We're doing 2 or 3. We need centre.
Davey, it's time to go for the tune.
Oh, you're a hard man. Right, Alec, in you come.
Davey, the question Ryan asked you is, what will Stevie G be thinking?
I honestly don't care.
All right, fair comment, mate. Cheers, Ryan. Good to speak to you, mate.
Right, good night, guys. Brilliant
Cheers,
show.
mate.
Night, Ryan.
Alex, how we doing, brother?
Oh, good evening, Ops here. Linda, Davey.
Right.
I don't know who else is here, but what a night, huh? What a night. I've played Rangers songs all day, man. It's been absolutely wonderland, man. They put you through the emotions, didn't they? But what an achievement. What an achievement by that club. And we're about the same vintage as Davy and that. Okay, maybe a couple of years older than that, but I know exactly what he's talking about. And this is up there with one of the greatest results. Maybe not the greatest team we've had in Rangers Football Club, but what a result.
Yeah.
Compared with Kempy.
Can I ask you something? When in this team, I know there's a couple of players come in and there's a couple left, but when are these group of players going to get the credit that they deserve, mate? I know maybe domestically we've let ourselves down, but in the world of football, mate, they've put us on the map for nothing.
They certainly have. They've took us to, honest, compare where we came from and where were they now? And we go back to the beginning and that, when with Stevie Gerrard, I've said all before, we get the foundations and that. We gradually get better, and then Gio came in. His mastermind in European football is unbelievable. Tactically, he's a way up there. And let's go on about the game last night. I did say we could probably get a result. I thought it would be a draw and get an extra time penalty kicks. But I think, the head was ruling me there and all, But when I seen the team and the performance they put out last night, and every one of that squad are absolutely fantastic. For the goalkeeper right through, what an achievement, man. I couldn't believe it, man. I could not believe it. And we played really well. And the goal, absolutely fantastic with the pressing and then just the easy pass to College. That's it. And now, we've got it now. We've took us back to every one of us no ox there. But as I keep on about these young kids, man, they've not really seen us in the Champions League. There's some of them maybe just at the beginning, but this is them seeing the real Rangers now. And it's all for them, man. My two boys, man, oh, for God's sake, it's absolutely wonderful. Everyone, credit to the full lot. Rangers Football Club, right through directors, staff, right down to the team, and most important, the supporters.
Here, mate. Here. It's I don't know, Alex. It's if you'd have said to me when Stevie G walked out the door in November, and I thought we could have won the league, and I thought we should have won the league. But if use another phrase, a different journey we went on, and we'd have got to a European final. And then we'd have went through the qualifiers to get to the Champions League after no doing it automatically, where we gained all the coefficient points. It was so galling. But we've done it again, mate. It's just unbelievable.
You're absolutely right. When Stevie G left, we were all totally stunned. Every man was stunned when that fella walked out. And we thought, here we go. We looked back to the semi-final there against the Hibs. And we were all at the game in that. And we're absolutely diabolical. And then you'd outburst with certain players, and you're like, where are we going to go here? But you've got to give credit to the wee guy, man. Gio, his tactics, sometimes we're like that in the domestic side of the game, we're like, I'm not sure about doing this. And I've got to put my hand up here first. I hate slating any Rangers player, but sometimes I just call it as I see it. I spoke a way back when James Sands came into the team. His debut was up at Aberdeen, if you recall, and he had a total nightmare. The guy had a nightmare. And then it came through and that. We were just watching him. And he was always out with me. Then finally we had to play him at centre-back. And I've been on here saying that guy's no left-sided centre-back. But I'll tell you one thing I know. I proudly sit here and eat my words. And I've got to give Robert Weatherall every compliment. Because the wee guy came on here one time, a few weeks ago and that, and he turned and said, James Sands will be a football player. And he's absolutely 100% right.
Well said, mate. I don't think you're alone in that. I still don't think he's a left-sided centre-back, but I'll tell you what, he's fast, he's brave, and he gives you everything he's got, mate.
To me, he's a midfield player, there, but seeing I watched that guy last night, his tackling was absolutely perfect. And it was at the bit, you couldn't make a mistake. And it was fierce, it was wonderful. John McLaughlin, probably the best game for a long time. Connor Goldston, I thought he came on to a real game. I agree with you, Kamara was outstanding in the first half. All these guys that keep saying he's not a football player, well, what's their opinion on it? and then you go up into Tillman. What a capture that boy is. And then the goal scorer. It speaks volume. It's absolutely wonderful, and it's absolute credit. And the draw of the day, that'll be interesting, that group now. It'll be really interesting. And it's absolutely fantastic.
Well said, mate. We'll be joined by Stu again. How are we doing, Stuart?
I'm doing well, Ox. How are you?
Aye, one call last night. You're back in the night. Got the bug bit?
Aye, on a roll, I suppose. Hi, Linda. Hi, Juicy.
Hi, Stu.
Good, mate. Now that you've calmed down, give us your thoughts, Stuart.
Well, I think my first thought is what was that draw all about, Ox? The comment you made about going for a shave during the draw was a bit right. And Yaya Toure, well, I don't think punditry is going to be his new career. It was, aye. They certainly made a meal out of it anyway.
Aye, it's Albert was watching his paint dry at the same time as he was watching the draw. He said the paint was more interesting to read about that.
But it's a good draw for us, isn't it? Obviously, it's Battle of Britain again. Liverpool haven't had a great start to the season, so we have to be in with a chance against them. We're going to be in with a chance against any side at Ibrox, has been said already. Then Ajax is going to team up with our old pal Shirley again, so you never know, he might do us a favour. I doubt it, but you never know. And Napoli, for me, I don't really know that much about Napoli, but Maradona's not there anymore, so they can't be as good as they used to be.
Oh, they're still a decent side, but Juicy, can you comment?
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting about these teams is, they've all undergone some changes. I think the most significant being Ajax. They've had 14 in and 14 out over the summer, with obviously the very well publicised Anthony still fluxing with a potential move to Manchester United. And if that one happens, that's 120 million Manchester United have given Ajax this summer for two players. And of course, they purchased Bassi from us as well. So they're going through quite a lot of change themselves. Of course, their managers left them for Manchester United. I think there's an opportunity for us there, Stuart, to cause some damage, particularly at Ibrox. I mean, they are the champions of Holland, so there's certainly no mugs. But I think, when a team has that many ins and outs, that's quite a lot of change, isn't it, over the summer, Oxshire? Napoli, of course, Koulibaly left them to join Chelsea. I think that was a couple of years too late for that move. I don't think he was at his peak. He was good. They've still got some quality players in their lineup, but I don't think it's the most awful team that we could have had from that pot. So that's competitive. And of course, Liverpool, as Stuart said, they haven't started that great, but it's a few weeks away. We don't know exactly when we're going to be playing them yet. So there's time for some of these teams to either hit form or for the form to drop off. But just what a tremendous opportunity for a Battle of Britain and to show an English Premiership side what we're capable of. That's what I'm really excited about, guys.
Well see. Stuart, were you happy with the draw, or was there another group you'd have fancied?
I was just happy to be in the draw for such a long absence, and I think it's a good draw. I think we have a serious chance of progressing from the group. I don't think I've been too overly optimistic. I'll try to keep my feet on the ground, but I think we have a chance, and certainly again at Ibrox. When I seen the Barca Inter Bayern group, I thought, oh, here we go. It certainly would have been glamourtised, but it would have been difficult to qualify out of that group. So, I'm pleased with it. I honestly think we've got a chance of progressing out of the group.
Aye. I think first and foremost, all David, we just like to compete and see what it takes us.
Spot on. I think we're losing the plot a bit here with who we're playing and how good this is and how good that is. It's all about what we done last night and where we were. I was at Ibrox when we were playing East Stirling And that's what I want to have a big shout to all the Rangers supporters since then. It was the biggest crowd for a third division in the world. And that was for the supporters. That's how far we have came. And that's what's more important. These ties will take care of themselves. It's where we go from here, onwards and upwards.
Here, Linda.
Yeah, totally agree, Davy. I think last night we went into that game and, as I said earlier, PSV were probably favourites because they were playing at home, but this group of players just know how to get results on that European stage. That run we went on last year was magnificent, and it was obviously we were all gutted that we didn't win the final in Seville, but I'm sure everybody felt the same this morning. I just felt absolutely ecstatic that we had got through. And I think a lot of people in this country had written us off as well, Ox, in terms of being able to get that, that place. So it's I don't really worry too much about what other teams and other supporters think, but sometimes it is just nice to just say, well, look, we've done it, and they can't take that away from us.
Here, Linda. Here. Alec, we need to get back down to earth, and we've got a league title to. We've got some big games coming, but last night will live long in the memory, mate.
Absolutely, obviously. But regarding what Linda's saying about Seville and that, when we were out there and we get beat in the final, but a penalty kick, we were all down the full lot. But last night, this took us back to the level again. It's absolutely wonderful. And we deserve to be there. That was 3 tries in it. We lost the league, probably our own fault. We gave Celtic the league. We get to the final and we're losing a penalty kick. And their Rangers do it the hard way. They got away there last night and they produce a performance unbelievable. And we're back to the bread and butter. We'll all be there to see us against Ross County on Saturday. And let us go now. Get the sleeves rolled up and get the domestic side going as well now. It's fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. And I can't praise the fans as much in all my life. And I agree with Davey and yourself. We've seen all the great times, man. Honestly, we've seen some bad times, but majority of it's been terrific following the Rangers. These young boys now are just beginning to get it, man. And they'll carry it on. And we're going to go right to the top now. That's us back at the big table. And no matter how we perform in this Champions League, and I do believe we will do well in it, but the thing is, we're there, and we're there. It's a merit. And it's just wonderful to be a Rangers supporter, isn't it? Oxford, I'm going to call off now, mate. There's other callers on, but thank you very much. A brilliant station. And honest, you've no idea what you do, man. Fantastic. And we all love the Rangers, and that's what it's all about. We are the people.
Cheers, mate. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll be joined by Lawbear. How are we doing, Lawbear?
Hi, mate. How are you?
Hi, a long time no hear. How's things?
I know, sorry, it's been far too long.
Aye. What's on your mind, mate? Get it off your chest.
I just tonight I felt the need to phone in. It's one of those occasions where, last season was incredible. We all deep down we're hurting when we didn't win the league and get automatic qualification, but the run to the Europa League final, Scottish Cup, I heard something last night. I think it was on TalkSport. I don't know if any of you listen to TalkSport, but it was something that a certain presenter said. He said something's happening there, and it just resonated with me. And I'm like, under Van Bronckhorst, something is happening. There's been, to me, good recruitment where we're bringing in, to me, quality, young and good players to replace, unfortunately for us, some of the great players that have left us now, like Aribo and Bassey. And last night, or the 2 legs against PSV, it just epitomised the heart of what it means to play for Rangers. The first leg, I thought we were a bit unfortunate. I probably think we should have won the game. But last night, I know we've had some critics this season for defensive, which was taking us a little bit back into the early Steven Gerrard era of us being a bit weak in defence. But I thought last night, for me, my man of the match was James Sands. I don't know if this has been brought up, I haven't listened to the whole show, but that boy on the deck is a defender. I mean, he might not be blessed with height, but on the deck and with the ball, he's a defender. He knows how to defend. And if anything, for me, he's probably outshone Connor Goldson in the last few games that he's played. And last night was just everything that, to me, epitomises Rangers Football Club. It was grit, it was heart, it was determination. Players that have come into the club like Tillman, Cholak, Lawrence, even Matondo, right? Matondo's not had much to do. I won't say too much. I'll let the conversation go back and forth. But these are the players that, on paper, you might not have thought would have elevated us from the team that we had that won the league and got to Europa League final. But I'm bursting with pride from last night about how resolute we were and how Giovanni is tactically on another level to Gerrard.
In Europe. In Europe, aye, definitely, without a doubt. Linda?
Yeah, I think the point Lawber makes about James Sands is really, important, and the fact that I think he is a footballer, and I don't know if you agree, Lawber, but we didn't really see enough of him kind of last season. He was thrown into that Aberdeen game, and there wasn't really anybody that got pass marks in that game, but he's been given a run of games now, and it's obviously because we've been struggling in that centre-back position. I'm not sure that is his position. I don't know whether he's better as maybe that a deep-lying midfielder, but the boy's effort and his commitment, a couple of maybe stray passes at times at the back, but apart from that, I thought he was absolutely terrific last night, and a couple of really brave tackles to stop really dangerous situations in terms of PSV. So, absolutely delighted with Sands, and it'll be interesting to see how much we see of him as we get players back, Lawber.
I agree. I mean, I was the first to probably be a little disappointed that we didn't re-sign Balogun, because I think for his presence and his height, I think he'd be very useful to where we are now in the situation. It's clear that Katis isn't going to get a game and Hollander's a long-time injury. And I was nervous about Sands coming in because I didn't think he had the presence. But if he keeps pulling in performances like that, and we don't know how long John Souttar is going to be out, and we've got all these defenders that we really can't play. Whether the Champions League qualification will maybe encourage Gio to sign potentially another centre back, I'm not sure how congested that might make these options if everybody's fit. But I certainly think Sands has put himself as a partnership at the moment with Connor.
Aye, okay, mate. I think he's surprised us all, right, Davey? We'll get a few callers lined up to come in. Davey, always a pleasure. You just use your last word of the evening, mate, before we get ready for the tune. And I'll let you speak to Linda before you go, mate. On you go. Floor's yours.
I was going to ask a question about, do you think there'd be any repercussions from UFA about that performance, about the team trying to get into the park and all the other stuff that was getting lobbed at them?
Honestly, I don't, mate. I think that's just one of these things that happen. PSV will get fined £20,000 or £8,000, whatever they fine.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Ox, and you can play your tune. And Linda, I love you.
Thanks, Davey.
Do you know something? I would even share my Maltesers with you.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, that's true love, Davey.
Oh, well.
Right, boys. Good night. God bless.
Good night.
You've got a fan there, Linda.
Oh, the Maltesers, I didn't expect that.
No, share them. Fair play. Aye. Justy, do you want to come in on Lawbear's point?
Yeah.
There's no Malteser action for you or me then, Oxshire?
Never, mate. Never. Never, mate.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's some of the actions last night, did leave a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. If you look at what happened, the PSV fans holding up the bus, and then some of the comments from some of their players, just makes me even more proud that we got through last night.
Yeah,
and PSV had a fixture postponed. The fans were keeping our team up with fireworks, setting off alarms at the hotel, stopped our bus, and they still couldn't beat us. Get in.
Anyway, we've joined with John. Evening, John.
How you doing, Ox? How you doing? Juicy and Linda, is it on the panel tonight?
Yes, it is, mate. First time caller, John.
Aye, very first time. Long overdue, right enough. I've been listening to the show for long enough.
Good, mate. What's on your mind, mate?
Just to actually look back and put things into perspective for the journey. So I was going to phone after 55, never done it. Probably too drunk at that point. I was going to phone in Seville.
Fair comment, mate.
Aye, going to phone in Seville again, probably too drunk. Last year I was going to do after the Scottish Cup. I think we know where that one's going, probably too drunk.
There's a trend here. There's a trend here.
There is a trend. But actually, that draw today made it my world. Absolute my world. Just looking at it, that's the journey finally over, I think, for me. We can finally go into the next chapter.
I get it, mate, because the head she's breaking to now playing Napoli in Anfield and against Ajax, one of the top teams in Europe,
Well, that's the thing as well, Ox. I was actually at Brighton, that very first game. I was, let me think, so the last time we won the Champions League, I was 16. And I was in Valencia and I was at Old Trafford with my cousin. So it actually puts it into mad. I'm now going home, just put my 10-month-old baby to bed there, and I thought I'd use a phone. It's just unbelievable, the feeling now. It's just superb. 12 years on. Can't believe it.
I'm just glad you're sober to phone in tonight, John. Linda?
Sounds as if you've had a bit of a good time anyway, John. It's nice to just have some good times back as well. And Alex Wishaw was talking about there's a kind of a slight generation of Rangers fans that haven't seen us really win things and being successful. And it's really terrific for the young Bears as well, John, isn't it? To start to see us really, we're back on that sort of, that top table again, and we're back on the map.
That's it. It's absolutely that. Because I was all through the divisions, and then I was in progress, seen the hedge, seen all that, and now I'm thinking about going to Amsterdam. Probably won't be able to do that now with the 10-month-old, but definitely a trip down to Anfield's on the cards for me. Just the way Rangers are, even last Saturday when I was at Easter Road, the highs and lows that we as Rangers fans can go through in a week is just unbearable. But it's something you just wouldn't change for the world.
No, I don't. Listen, I think we overreact sometimes when we have a hiccup, mate. With the draw at Easter Road, the circumstances, we were, I wouldn't use the word cheated, but it was 12 against 9 at the finish, mate. And so,
was,
so we've got to put it into context. And sometimes we overreact. I get it. Passions run high and we all care. But, man, when we come back there that last night, John, this group of players, if they can just get it together consistently, I don't know where it'll take us, mate.
Well, hopefully it takes us, we move it into the domestic side of the game, because every one of the players after last night are legends again. The same as the 15 players that was on the way to Seville. They're all legends. 55 team, they're all legends. But what I'll do, guys, I'll leave it. I know it's 9 o'clock, so you'll get your tune on. But it was good to finally break the duck and come on the show.
Mate, don't be a stranger, mate. No, enjoyed your call, mate. Great to hear from you. And yeah.
Right, brilliant. God bless. Thanks very much, right?
No, not at all, mate. Great to hear from you.
Right, cheers. Right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Get yourselves on mute, boys and girls. We're going to have a tune.
marching on through the years of history. Heads held on high, up for the jersey they would do or die. Oh, fight, fight for right, play the game with a badge of glory. Well, lose or draw, well, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. See them march on, banners high as they fly before you, loyal and true, on the way to cheer the boys in blue. Oh, follow they will, marching on through the songs of glory. We'll lose or draw, well, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. Have you seen the Glasgow Rangers? Have you seen the boys in blue? Well, they're admired by all who know them. If you knew them, so would you. For they have played with Monaco, they have played in the USA. But the greatest game in history is the game on New Year's Day. For it's the home of famous heroes, and their praises they have been sung. Well, they waddle Tory Gaelic, Alan Martin and George Young. And when all my life has ended, and when death has made its mark, will you scatter all my ashes on the slope of Ibrox Park? And what the angels I'll be singing up in heaven, they're up above. I'll be singing, follow, follow, to the Rangers that I love. And with my flute I will be playing in the valleys and the glens. I'll be happy and contented when the Rangers win again. See them march on, marching on through the years of history. Heads held on high, up for the jersey they would do or die. Fight, fight for right, play the game with a badge of glory. We'll lose or draw, well, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. See them march on, banners high as they fly before you, loyal and true, on the way to cheer the boys in blue. Oh, follow they will, marching on through the songs of glory. We'll lose or draw, well, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. We'll lose or draw, well, that's the Glasgow Rangers story.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356-1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, we've been joined by Big Al, I think, is with us. I think is he with us?
Yes.
Yes, big man. How are we doing, mate?
Can I speak to Juicy Linda?
Take your pick, mate. Take your pick.
No, is that your fans only page name?
That would be telling now.
I've got something new you can share. A box of milk tray here for you. A box of milk tray. I've got a tin of Aldi. I've got a tin of Aldi. I've got a tin of Aldi ravioli for you and Juicy to share, Ox.
Alright, cheers, mate.
Nah, you're alright. Aye, really proud. It's sunk in a wee bit more. I think I came on here last night. I think it was the first to comment on that James Sandboy. And then the world just went crazy. So a lot of people must listen to this show. I think he had a performance there. I said he's before the game. He kind of reminds me of like a kind of Craig Moore. Obviously not the most dominant, but dominant in the tackle. I like my defenders to be like that. If we do bring in a defender or the defenders we have to get fit and we move him into midfield, I think that might just be a bit of a missing link there. I think he'd be a good replacement for what we have in midfield. I think he'd work well with your Lundstrom, him, Tillman driving forward, and I think we've got a striker there that can bang in a few goals for us. And the draw, pardon me, the draw's all right. I think there's, I think we can get the teams. I don't think any of the teams are going to be looking forward to coming to Ibrox. I think we'll hold our heads up high after it's all done and dusted. A wee bit of luck we qualify for the next round.
Any discussions today in Oz about it, Al?
No, I was.
Guys, the what?
No, I'm not at work at the moment. I'm at the moment. I'm just by myself. Me and Big Blue walking about the park, taking my dog a walk. But I had a big smile on my face, and I just keep up to date with all the news reports, listening to a wee bit of the radio, different things like that. But no, really proud of him. I think it was a performance that we can all be proud of. It's a performance that we need to take a lot of confidence from and take that in our league form. You're now supping at the same mug as the big boys. We have to carry that mentality into the league. We've just proved to everybody where we are.
We just need to get the blend right in the league. I think that's a fair comment. Stuart, and you come, mate?
I think we're all saying the same thing. I think just to keep that momentum going and in the league show that we're going to start securing league titles on a regular basis again and cups also. I think the strength in our squad's going to be used. We've got a lot of players just on the fringes. I think he's going to stick with his core, starting 11 where he can. But there's other players that certainly Scott Wright was mentioned again, and I know sometimes we're a wee bit critical of Scott Wright, but I like him. And Matondo's another one. We haven't seen much of him yet, but he's got the potential to be a big player for us. So, I mean, domestically, that's our bread and butter. Europe's the real excitement, but we want to win the league and we want to win cups also.
I understand that, but for revenue, prestige, and your place in world football, Linda, Europe's a place, isn't it?
Okay, it is, Ox, and I think obviously we've had a lot of joy in Europe and lots of good performances and some great, fantastic nights, particularly at Ibrox. But the guys are right about the domestic form, but I think it's difficult because these teams don't really want to play football that often against us, and they've got all these players behind the ball, but we need to find a way to break them down, but we also need to up the tempo in the game, because I think that's what's been frustrating us, Ox, isn't it? It's how slow and kind of pedestrian our play is. But I think it makes a difference when a team wants to play football against you. I think we are obviously better in that type of circumstance, I think.
Aye, an open game of football, just a big difference there.
Yeah, it certainly is, Oxshire. PSV over those two matches, played football against us. Tried wing play, balls over the top, everything they could to influence the game, from a positive standpoint. And we know that isn't how domestic football in Scotland works for the vast majority of the matches. So as a team, tactically, Gio's got to approach it differently in terms of how we set up, how we try and break these teams down. And I know a few of us have commented about, do we need 2 holding players for every match? Well, we probably don't in all circumstances, really. We need to try and take it to these teams a little bit more and move the ball more quickly. But that's really easy, me saying that, when you've got 2 banks of 5 that you're trying to break through and everything's negative and low block. So, hopefully if we can start unlocking some of these teams, we know how capable we are guys, of doing some serious damage.
Can I make a quick point also before I go? Ox.
Of course you can, mate. You carry on.
Thank you, mate. Because I need to drop off, but my main point is I actually think this team, we've actually not got past setting the third gear yet. I still think there's a lot to come from this team. If I look at the team that Gerard built, that Gio took over, they've been together for 2 years and we're very fluid. I think this is just a start. We've qualified for the Champions League with a quarter, if not half, of the team that are relatively new. I think this is just the start. I think when these players really get up to speed, we can really see the benefit of it.
Listen, one of the most pleasing things about the result last night was the fact that we've heard for your good self again, Robert.
I need to drop off to do it, but I'll come back again.
Okay, family okay, mate?
All good, mate. Daughter starting high school, if you can believe that.
Oh, look, I don't believe it, mate. I mean, obviously a few years younger myself, but carry on, mate.
When I first phoned in, she was only about 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah. Right, mate, great to hear from you.
Good luck with that, starting high school. I've got 3 at high school, $3. My God.
That's how you root yourself up the dug, Al.
Oh, that's how I bought the dug, man. That's how I bought the dug.
Right, all you, Linda. You say, Big Al. Ox, pleasure to hear you.
Good to hear you. Good to hear you. I'm gonna go as well, Ox. I need to go and walk the dog before the rains get up. But well done, Rangers, man. Well done. Really good. It's good to hear your dulcet tones, Linda.
Good night, Al. Take care.
Thank you. You have a nice evening. Take care, gentlemen and ladies.
Cheers, mate.
Good night, mate.
Ox, just before I jump off, could I just sort of... Is it okay just to support what was said there about there is a lot to come from this team. I have a real belief in this team, and I suppose with that it brings expectation as well. So here we are in the group stages. I firmly believe we've got a chance of doing ourselves proud, and with a little bit of luck, potentially progressing out of the group. So I believe that there's real potential in this team. So thanks for letting me come on again. All the best. Thanks for what you guys do all the time. It's great to provide this forum to allow Rangers supporters to come in and just have a chat about the club we love.
Oh, you're welcome anytime, mate. Anytime.
Thanks a lot. Take care, everybody.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Right, okay. Aye. Some great comments. Big Al walking the dog because he's got 3 lassies. Love it. Juicy. Giovanni. he was a popular choice, but people's had their doubts at times, at different times. But this run in Europe, if when he took over, getting us out that group, that run in Europe, then obviously these 2 ties, 2-0 down in the first one. Let's be honest, we thought we might have been toasting that. He's come up with a good time and time again. Maybe one mistake, he should have left Fashion Sakala on and let him take a penalty instead of Aaron Ramsey, but that's another time for another. But, wow, his record is unbelievable. Juicy Bear.
It is just amazing. And remember, guys, he hasn't even been with us a whole 12 months yet. And he came in at a difficult point last season, almost halfway through the season. And, I know we didn't win the league. I know we dropped a few points here or there, and unfortunately that's all it took. But he still improved us. From a European perspective, we went on and we kicked on, and we moved on from where Stevie had taken us. And tactically, you can see he's just thinking it through all the time, and he's not scared of making decisions in terms of pulling people off or changing it, or as I've said before and you've said before, Oxja, changing the formation, which his predecessor wasn't very good at. Stevie wasn't one for making subs, and he wasn't one for changing the formation. And you've got to change it up when it's not working. We would have all much rather gone out fighting in a match than doing nothing and going out, meekly. And he's not done that for me. He's always tried to make changes. And okay, we had a sore one and a bad one at USG, but it's a 2-legged affair, guys. And like so many other matches, we won them over the 2 legs. Rather, it hadn't been quite so tight, Oxja, but he got the job done. It gave us, as we said, an opportunity against PSV for a shot to get in that group stage. And my God, they've taken it. We should be very, very pleased with what we've got on our hands here with young Gio, because he is building something here. And, he's taken a big, big step. And, let's get behind him and give him that time. And he's got another week now to do some transfer business. Hopefully, we've mentioned centre-back, we mentioned a striker, we've mentioned the right side of midfield. And I'm sure if we've mentioned it, I'm sure he listens to this show. So if he hasn't thought of it, I'm sure he's making notes now, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. We've been joined by Post-Star. Evening, Post-Star.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Juicy. Evening, Linda and the rest of the guys. Just reiterating basically what everybody else has been saying, Ox. To think 11 half year ago, walking with Sandy Jardine, God rest him, and going against everything that was happening to us, to see us progressing for Brecons up the divisions to winning title 55, and we've had setbacks along the way, but tell me a team that doesn't. But to see that performance last night, yeah, we always gave our team a 10 out of 11. I didn't think for a minute he would have played Kamara next to Lundstrom. Boy, did he prove me wrong. He was him and the boy Sands, best 2 players in the park by a country mile. Sands for me was absolutely outstanding. Looking at the draw, I actually was hoping that at one point we would get Eintracht Frankfurt. I'm happy enough with the draw. The only team, and I'll be honest here, the one that doesn't worry me certainly isn't Liverpool. It's Napoli, simply because they've started 2 games, they've won 2 games. The Italians are always the hardest teams in the world to break down. Just going on what Juicy just reiterated the new there, I concur with him totally. Yes, this team's got a lot more to give, far more to give. It's going to take time, and it's a big but, we need reinforcements, and we need them over the next 5-6 days, big time. We don't have the squad. I'll say it again. We don't have the squad to compete in Europe, and we certainly don't have the squad to do it in the league as well. We've already dropped 2 daft points. Yes, these things happen. But remember, we lost it last year only in 4 points. So we need reinforcements, and we need them as soon as. Gio's more than merited getting the funds to bring in, roughly speaking, what he thinks he needs. And I'm sure he's already spoke to the board. Again, and what you were saying, Ox, for where the guys took us, you seen the way we played last night. That was proper football. For his back kicks to the midfield, to our forwards, the way he had us playing, we can't play that way in Scotland. We just can't. You remember the Advocate had 80-odd million to spend. Who did they bring in to put the balls in the net? He brought in a wee guy, Billy Dodds. We all thought at first, is he mad? He proved his own thing, and that sometimes that's forward thinking. And Gio's exactly the same. Look at some of the players we had in the park last night, Ox. They never cost us a penny. Kamara, 50 grand. So it proves, if you know what you're looking at and you can spot a player, these guys can come in and they fit into the way you're thinking. But his tactical awareness, Ox, that's what gets me. He's been absolutely superb.
Yeah,
when you classify the teams, the teams that were up against Ox last year and even this year,
right.
What that guy, the way he's got his playing and the way that he uses players, absolutely fantastic.
All right, cheers for that. Linda?
Yeah, I think what Blue Star's saying about the signings, we were talking about that earlier on, and some of us think, if we could get another 3 players in, and we talked a wee bit, Blue Star, about the positions we think that we would want to fill. It'll be interesting to see what happens in regards to whether any of these players that are on this injury list just now, how far away they are. I would suspect that Suter and Hollander are not anywhere near coming back. I don't think. Ruth, I saw something, him being maybe back in training. Davies, we're not sure. I think he said possibly back with the squad over the next week. And Alfie, it's all about his attitude and whether we're going to see him back. I think Gio put an olive branch out to him last night, Blue Star, saying that he's qualified and obviously he's going to help him get fit again. But as I say, I still, setting all that aside, we still need some signings, I think.
Definitely.
Anyway, we've also been joined with Peter. Evening, Peter.
Evening, Oxford, evening, Linda and Juicy and Blue Star. How you all doing?
Good, mate. What's on your mind?
Yeah. No, just what you all talking about. Fantastic result again last night and how we've proved everybody wrong on the doubters again. Going on and put on I wouldn't say it's the best display, but played some good football as well. Shut Bjornman up at the draw today as well. A decent draw, and I think with the right reinforcements, finishing second or third isn't beyond us in this group.
Aye, I just want us to compete first and foremost, yeah, and see what it takes us. Holberg says he'll take 6 draws. He thinks that might get us through. But if you can go in a row, you can get a few points, maybe steal teams cut each other's throat. You never know where it'll take you, Peter.
No, that's it. And we've shown it that we can compete in Europe as well, as we've all seen it. European football suits our team. As maybe that's if they fail a wee bit in the league, is they maybe overthink it. Because our gaffer's shown he's a tactical genius in European football, and last night was another tactical genius that he showed last night.
Can I disagree with that, Juicy?
Well, as I was just saying earlier, we've got, how long have we got? Just over a week left in the transfer market, and we're going to have to bring in a few extra bodies, aren't we, guys? Because I'm just worried about so many matches, Oxshire, and just making sure we've got that sufficient cover. Linda a minute ago mentioned about Ruth. He's close, but he's obviously going to lack that match fitness. But it's just so exciting, and I'm just so pleased that we're involved. And whatever happens in those group stages, we'll learn from it and we'll improve. But we're more than capable of causing some damage. These aren't empty words from me, because we've got the evidence to back it up, guys.
Blue Star.
Oh, definitely, Juicy. We've more than got the evidence. We've put out Dortmund. We beat Leipzig. We've beat these teams home and away. So we've proved that we can play against teams that have spent mega millions, far more than us. We have so-called better calibre of players. So a lot of the time it is all down to tactics, and Gio's more than proved his worth there. For me, the guy's astutely been very aware of the opponents that we've been playing against, and he's manoeuvred our team about in certain players in certain positions to combat that, and he's done it absolutely brilliant. As I say, last night, guys, I really didn't know what to expect for them. I certainly watched the first game, and to give them credit, they had a go at us. We were 2-1 up, and they scored an equaliser. They more or less had thought that was aimed through, and certainly they had a couple of chances, and you're always going to have that in games. But the way our players manoeuvred themselves, they got in about it. And let's be honest, the one for Lawrence, oh my, what did we get beat? We about an inch of woodwork. That would have been one of the goals of the whole of the Champions League. It was the guy shows you what he's capable of doing. I just want to see a wee bit more for Kent, and I get the fact that they double up and they treble up on him. Well, we've got players there that have got absolute born ability. The wee guy Tillman, as I say, I keep saying wee, but he's actually quite tall when you see him close up. But you can see his wee back flicks and everything, and that all comes down to the awareness of the players around about them, and they're still learning. They're still learning their own teammates. But you can see there's far more to come. But we certainly he certainly needs reinforcements, because what he's got there at his disposal, it's perfectly evident, guys. There's certain players that he's got there that Gio just doesn't fancy, let's be honest here. So he's going to have to bring in a few more, because the 3 games a week at the moment, big Kovac up front. Anything happens to him at all, we're in soapy bubble the way we were at the end of last season, because we don't have another born out and out striker now that's fit.
It's a hard thing to bring in a fourth choice striker who's going to be decent, Linda.
Yeah, because I think that person's going to have to be happy to sit in the bench box or not even get in.
Difficult.
And maybe not even get in the squad as people start to get fit. I suppose, as I said earlier, a lot of it might depend on Alfredo Morelos. However, there's obviously the transfer window. There's not that long left now, so he has got some big decisions to make. The thing about balancing all these games in these different competitions, you would almost want to have your strongest team for the Champions League and be able to rest people for the league games. But the way that we've started, if it's at Ibrox, we're all confident that we will get the win. Sometimes it's maybe not as pretty as we would like, but we have done all right. But the difficulty for us has been the away games and being able to basically put teams to bed early, get a couple of goals up so that they can take some confidence. It's all this slow starting and not scoring goals early. That's what, in my opinion, they need to work on.
We've been joined by Ian. Evening, Ian.
Evening, guys. Evening, Linda.
Evening, Ian.
I won't go long. It's just to say about last night's game. They were absolutely outstanding. It's the only time I've really been nervous before a Rangers game. I'm usually always saying Rangers will win. They'll win. Last night I wasn't too sure. And wow, I mean, it just blew us all away. And I know we've all got their man of the matches and everything like that. Everyone's got their own opinion. But for me, it was Sands last night. It was outstanding. I mean, his tackles were spot on, his passing. Everyone just played all round brilliant last night. I mean, Tillman played great. They all played great as a team. But to me, Sands was just spot on with every tackle. And I was going to ask you a question. Out of the 2 groups that you've seen, the 2 teams that's been, you know who I'm talking about, who do you think's got the hardest group?
Us, because we've got 4 good teams in our group.
Brilliant, Ox.
We only need one, us.
Juicy.
What was the toughest group, did you say?
Yep. What would you think was the toughest group out of the two clubs?
What,
I'll
us
even
and
mention
them?
them then. Aye, us and that other lot.
Okay, I'll try and be as objective as I can. I think we both could have had, I mean, it's crazy saying this when we've got Liverpool in our group, but we could have both had, and they've got Madrid, we could have both had much harder groups in terms of what they could have been. You know, we were very close to getting Group C with Bayern, Barca, Inter. As I said earlier, Victoria Plzeň from the Czech Republic with a top 4 team in there. And I think that's really hard. Doesn't mean that they're not great matches, and we'd have enjoyed whatever we had. But looking at what we've got in our group, I think we've got an opportunity to cause some damage. And I think maybe they might feel the same as well. I mean, I think whichever team's got Shakhtar Donetsk, you know, they're a club that don't play any league matches now, and they qualified automatically for the Champions. So they've only got friendlies before they play their group stages. It's not ideal for Shakhtar, whoever they drew. I mean, we all know about Leipzig, you know, dangerous team. Remember now, guys, they've added up front, they've got Werner, so he's decent. So I don't think any of these groups are smooth running for anyone. But I think we've got a legitimate chance to do something. And, you know, regardless of what Liverpool do in the group, Oxja, there's two spots to qualify. So it's not all about, you know, just worrying about one team like Liverpool. Rangers can make some moves here, guys, and that's what matters. And if it has to be the Europa League, we can do that as well. 3rd place to continue the European run, superb.
Yep. I was just asking because everybody's sort of thinking we can do good in this wee group where it's up to us to be up for it and things like that. Whereas I've been reading a lot of their stuff saying they're going to walk that group, and I'm thinking, I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? They think they're going to win every game.
Based on what?
I don't know. Based on getting pumped out of 3 European competitions in one season last year. No, I mean that's what they've based that on.
I think what we've been so privileged to see with Rangers in the last few years is we've seen that gradual build up and improvement. And you know, when we've had the odd setback, we haven't let that knock our overall European form when we've kicked on. When we've lost one leg of a 2-legged match, we've sucked it up, we've carried on, and we built on it. And you know, that's where we've got that you know, improvement. We've seen that form, and I think that does count for something because our team hasn't changed that much. And the new guys that come in, they're part of that, and they can see the journey that we've already been on, so they can mix straight into that. Kolak, he's already been in the Champions League group stages. He scored the goals that knocked us out last season, so he knows what it's all about. It's not like it's alien to him. And that's why I'm so pleased.
For that, gents, we've also been joined by Warren. Evening, Warren.
Evening, Ox. How are we going?
All the better for hearing you, mate. All the better for hearing you.
Cheers. And all the best to the boys that's on the panel. I was just wanting to say, Ox, I think I'm actually starting to calm down after last night. I mean, see, if you look at before the game at Easter Road, right, now after that first leg, I thought, you know, that game's 50-50. It's not the old days where you had to be 2-0 up for the first leg before you went through. And I thought, we've got a chance here, you know. But then the mindset came in after Saturday, what happened at Easter Road. And as you've said all week, and it's bothered me as well, seeing us no creating chances in front of goal, no having shots at goal. I mean, I know it's different in Scottish football, you know, but it was worrying me. And then we're getting into that with the 2 men sent off, and then we've got the thing with Alfredo, and I thought it's a bloody circus going into this. And before Easter Road, I thought we had a great chance, and getting into the game last night, I thought I couldn't see it, Ox. I just could not see it. And then
first 10 minutes, we never touched the ball. And then the thing is, when you get into 20, 25 minutes, I don't know about yourselves, but all of a sudden, you feel the pressure. You thought, wait a minute, this is a bit different. Rangers were going up the park, we're getting corners, we're starting to attack, it's on. And then we get to 40 minutes, we're in the game. They had a wee flurry, more than a wee flurry. They had a couple of right heavy-duty good chances. And then you're like, just let's get to half-time, and then we're in at nothing each. And I've always thought myself, watching the Rangers, old firm games, your nerves are shattered. But see that last night, Ox, my nerves were through the roof. Half-time, you're into the second half, and then the worst thing we could do is we score, and I thought, I'm going to end up dead here. It's unbelievable. And the way the game went on, do you know something? I was actually so proud of Glasgow Rangers last night, so proud of them. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And then it's within 24 hours, all of a sudden we've got a draw and we're playing Liverpool.
I think the draw took 24 hours, mate.
I die with that flaming carry on. But Ox, absolutely over the moon, fantastic. What do you think yourself?
Similar, mate. Similar. I thought the game. I thought the game. There was a spell between 10 and 40 minutes, mate. Where we were excellent. Yeah,
we were great. Aye.
And the point was we never scored. That was worrying me. But I thought we were excellent. Our play was good. We were making opportunities. We never made millions of chances, Linda, but our play was excellent.
Yeah, I would agree. And then after that, Ox, just before half time, they had one of their wee spells in the game, didn't they? They had a couple of opportunities, and you were just hoping that we would sort of hold out to half time. And then I think the other side of half time, they started better than us, which is something that we'll obviously need to look at. But we grew into the game again and created some good chances ourselves. But Warren, I totally agree with you in terms of watching Rangers. Your blood pressure's through the roof, and sometimes I'm hiding behind the couch, and it really is. It's the highs and lows, isn't it?
Oh, I know, Linda. The highs and lows. I mean, I reckon maybe about 25 minutes into that game, and obviously we're coming into it in attacks. And one of the things that bothers me about Rangers is see the amount of corners that we get, and we don't be able to seem to do anything with them. It's ball into the box, the keeper actually picks it up, or it's knocked out. And I'm thinking there must be some kind of variation. I think even I could coach Rangers today better at corner kicks. But you're thinking to yourself, it's such an important game, and we're right in it. We're the better side. And I thought, this is actually worse than an old firm game. I think it's because there was so much at stake. And I thought, we're right in it. And, what a night. What a night.
Right, lads, I'm going to go. Can I say one thing before I go?
Of course you can, Ian.
Can I just say hi to everybody in the chat, because it's the best bunch of lads I have ever met since I come onto this Rangers Radio. As I've told you before, it's the best thing for me. And the amount of people I've met down below in the chat has absolutely been amazing. And just to say a big hi and a big thanks to every one of them. And I'll just say one more thing and then I'll go. We are the people for a reason. For a reason. And good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Cheers, Ian. Cheers.
Good night.
Night,
night,
Ian.
Linda.
Good night, Ian.
Night.
Bostar, if we bring in three players, you're bringing in starters, you're bringing in squad players. This is difficult unless people have to go to the door, mate.
I don't think it's difficult at all. He's not going to play Tillman the mass majority of games in Scotland. I'll tell you that now. That's why he left him out, because he knows he can't play him, the likes of boys like that, in Scotland and then play them again in the Tuesday or the Wednesday. It's not going to happen. Matondo's already been snuffed out. So you're talking about, for me, he's got to bring in a centre back. That's a must. That's not even up for debate. That has to happen. For me, I'd be looking at, call it you need another striker.
So ideally
for me, it would be
How do you get this fourth centre forwards in when you go to negotiate and you're talking to the guy?
Well,
you say,
I'll tell you how because these Champions League matches start in the next couple of weeks, and at the moment we've only got one. Alfie's at least a month away. He's already said that. Ruth, we don't know about.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. How do you get the
I
guy?
am. Because he's not going to play Ruth. Ruth was fit last season in the run-up to the UEFA final, and he had no intentions of playing him.
I don't agree with you, mate. You're talking nonsense.
No, well, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. He was perfectly fit. Our manager told us he was fit.
No.
So he wouldn't play him.
He got crocked against right in front of my eyes at Parkhead.
I know that.
At Hampden. He got crocked.
Aye. Yes, but going up to the semi-final and the final, our manager told us straight in the presser that Ruth was fit. That's why he was in the squad. If he was fit and he was sitting on the bench, then he could have brought him on. He never brought him on. We were struggling for a striker with to play a Rebo up there. So for me,
how do you bring in this fifth choice striker to benefit your squad? How do you sell it to the player you want to bring in?
Well, for starters, you've got plenty of players in Scotland. If you go that way, he can play in the Scottish League. Plenty will come to sign for Rangers. One, because of money, and two, because of signing for Rangers. He can play them in Scotland. He can play the likes of Kolak. Say, for instance, he's playing Dundee United on the Saturday, and we're playing Napoli on the Tuesday or the Wednesday. He can rest Kolak. That's how he's got to do it. Same as what Advocat did, and he had all the money. He brought in guys like Rod Wallace and wee Billy Dodds. They got games. Our manager's got to do the same. He can't play with the same 11, 13 players. It ain't going to work. If he picks up any more injuries, we're in soapy bubble at the moment. So he has to bring in reinforcements.
Juicy.
Well, first of all, Blue Star, I just wanted to say with regards to Ruth, I think we were all disappointed that Ruth got that injury and wasn't available to the level that we wanted him to be. We know he's a good player. We know he's a clinical finisher, but we also know he's made of glass, and that's the problem because he's never had that sustained run where you feel confident that he's keeping himself match fit. But the guy can score goals, and I want him back. I want him back in the squad. Guys, I want him to be involved, and I think that's great for us. But Blue Star, I think we do need to get someone else in from a forward perspective because of what I've said about Ruth.
A minute, I'll cut across you, Juicy. Raymond, you've joined us. Can you turn the show off, mate? You've got the show.
Right, Paul.
Turn it off. But the guy, Juicy, I'll
all right.
Talk to yourself.
All right,
how we doing, Raymond?
Aye, not bad. I've just seen that was some result last night, wasn't it?
Tremendous.
Superb result, wasn't it?
Aye.
What do you think of the draw?
I think we've got a 30% chance.
30%?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're brilliant at Ibrox.
I'm being realistic, mate. I think with a 30% chance in that, I think that's really good for where we're being and where we are. Linda?
So was it at third? Third in the group?
If you'd asked me that before the draw was made, would I take third and progress in Europe further?
Right.
Again, I think I would, mate, as long as we competed in goals.
Aye, so would I. I was saying to the brother today, I would take third. It's just it's the money to get in there, isn't it?
It's good money, mate. It's good money. Linda?
Yeah, Raymond, I would probably agree with Ox that our target would be to try and qualify, and get into the next stage of the Champions League, absolutely. But if we finish third, I think that would be an achievement as well. Drop down into the Europa League and have another really good run at that. I mean, that's no easier said than done, Raymond.
I don't want that, Linda. I don't want that. I'd want to win the group, but I'm being an honest assessment.
Yeah, absolutely, Oxo, absolutely. But I think in terms of finishing third, dropping down, we would still be in Europe. But that doesn't necessarily mean to say we're going to then go on and have a great run there, Oxo.
So what do you think of the group? Do you think you could do any teams? Ibrox?
I think we've got a chance, mate. I think we've got a chance. I think there are games that could go either way, and it could be due to the bounce of the ball or a referee decision, and we could compete because we've shown that we can compete with top teams.
Of course we can. Of course we can compete in Europe. We've showed it. But what gets me is we get back to this league and then we're hopeless again. It's attitude. I think it's attitude with Rangers.
I think if you look back at Saturday, mate, we were playing with a handbrake on, and I've got to juicy with us. With the handbrake on, and we go in front 2-1, and we're playing against 11 men, a referee, sending our players off for nothing, and then all of a sudden it ends up 11 against 9, and they've got the ref as well. And if we'd have seen that game out, mate, with a couple of minutes to go and the boy shot goes out the bar, could you fault their attitude?
Well, I don't know. Some games I don't know, but sometimes I think it's attitude with Rangers.
I think when you see us, and I'll go to Blue Star with us, in an open game of football, we can compete. Every defence against attack, you need a bit of luck. Blue Star.
Absolutely. And you're right in what you're saying. Again, Ox, it comes down to you're playing two totally different styles of football. You mentioned a wee thing earlier on and nobody really picked you up on it. You said something about in Europe, Gio's tactically brilliant. Absolutely is. You think to the fact that you didn't think he was great in the Scottish game at the moment. I agree with you. Absolutely, I agree with you. I think a lot of that's down to the squad size. I really do. I think he's got so many players at the Knox, and I look to that. You're right in what you're saying when you're bringing players in, but you're also alluding to the fact that the players we've already got there, and I'm agreeing with you. You'd be tough to ship so many out. That's fact, because he's got so many players there. He's got no intentions of playing. He hasn't.
Why is he not playing this boy Tillman?
That's why, because he's a young boy and he's not played games until he came to Rangers.
It was about £5 million. What did Rangers pay for him? $1 million.
We paid
£1 million quid.
£1 million for a loan, and then we've got the right to buy him. But Tillman will get a lot of games as the season goes on. Juicy.
Oxford, I don't think we can not get a player of that quality involved in matches. But what you were saying earlier, Blue Star, was it you that was saying you didn't think Tillman would play in a lot of domestic matches? I mean, no,
that's not what I'm saying, Juicy. What I'm saying is he'll play obviously, but he'll not be playing the mass majority of them. No, I don't believe he will. Right. Not whilst we're still in Europe.
Well, look, he's
just going to play like the Premier League games.
I think most of the Premier League games he'll be playing with the likes of Wright and that at the moment, and he'll be keeping likes of when there's games in midweek. I think he'll be playing the likes of Tillman and what he classifies as his best players in the European games. Yeah, I do.
Let Juicy speak, Raymond. Blue Star, let Juicy speak, Raymond.
Okay, Paul. Okay.
Right, Juicy.
Blue Star. For me, I think Tillman is a quality player. He's a more physical version of Hadji with that technical ability, I think. But we need a player like him and Hadji to unlock some of these pesky SPFL hammer-throwing defences. Because, I like Wright, but I don't think Wright's technically gifted like a player like Tillman. He'll run for you, but we know the end product's not great with him, and I don't want to shoot any of our players down, but they've got skills and weaknesses. Tillman, I don't want to put him into the ground and knacker him out so early into the season. I see what you're saying, but you could argue that we did that with Alfredo last season. That we played and
absolutely.
Wait a minute. I'm not going to say it again. Just wait till you hear your name before you speak. Carry on, Juicy.
We have to be a little bit careful with that, because Alfie obviously with the Colombia thing as well, and Tillman, he's got a long way to travel when he starts getting called up by the USA team, and same with Sands. But I do want to see him start in some of these SPFL matches. I can see why he rested him at the weekend. He's very much becoming our main man. But now that we're in those group stages and we've got those guaranteed matches, but look, all right, I'll give you Ross County, Oxford. We maybe can change the team a little bit on that. But Tillman's going to play the old firm, 100%.
I think Tillman will start on Saturday. Warren,
he may well do.
Well, all due respect, Blue Star, Tillman will be the player of the year in Scotland this year. That I can actually guarantee you that almost.
He's a good player.
Scott Wright, and he displayed it last night. He's got this knack of, he's absolutely brilliant. See running and maybe beating a man or two. But then see when it comes to a wee pass or a shot and goal, and I know everybody will say he scored the Golden Scottish Cup final. I do not like his final pass or his effort on goal. Scott Wright, that I'm not convinced of the boy.
I agree with you, and I agree with you, and I would play Tillman in most games. Ox, I'm 2 seconds. I would play Tillman in most games.
Carry on, Warren.
See, for a young boy, I think he's about 20, and you can see he's absolutely brilliant. And reports are coming out of Ibrox. I think it might have been, was it Andy Halliday? It might have been somebody else who said, look, coming out for Ibrox a lot, this guy is absolutely phenomenal. And we're starting to see it in the park. Now, you need to remember, we've only played about half a dozen games. I mean, we're all up in arms. After Easter Road, we're like, people are saying the league's over, this, that, and the next thing. The team has got to knit together, and Tillman will be a major, major part of this. Now, one of the guys who will be very underestimated is, see that Tom Lawrence boy coming to Derby? Crikey.
Good player.
We'll get our eyes on other people, and he's coming in for the dark, and he's going to be a great Rangers player. And I said on here a couple of weeks ago, I think we've got a great team this season, and I thought as soon as I open my mouth, it goes pear-shaped, and I wish I hadn't said that. But I think we're still knitting together. We'll maybe see the best of this team come September, October. But some of the players have got a fantastic, and Tillman, I'll tell you just now, I reckon he'll be player of the year in Scotland, Never mind this what is it, Iota, or whatever he's called, on the other side of the city. What?
Don't worry about him, mate.
I know. I just like him a wee dig in. But no, Tillman, absolutely Rolls Royce.
And you come, Peter. You've been sitting there patiently, mate, like a gentleman.
It's all fair points you're saying as well. Tillman is starting to show how good a player he is. And as we've said, we'll get frustrated, but we forget. I mean, there's Yilmaz as well. He's only played one game against Kilmarnock, so he's still to come in as well. But as you touched on earlier, all the new players, like Lawrence, Tillman, Jolak, all the attacking players are really starting to bed in. But Yilmaz is a great prospect as well, and then also got Ben Davies, but sadly we don't know how long he's out for. So it's all going to be exciting. So probably, as you've just said, September, October, this team should click. But Rangers have been known to be slow starters, but hopefully this is us clicking into gear now.
All right, just to let you know that once again we'll need to hold up the Scottish coefficient, another team going out tonight. Right, okay. Raymond, thanks for joining us, mate. Good to hear from you.
Right, thank you, mate. Thank you, Paul.
Cheers, mate. Warren, always a pleasure, buddy.
Cheers, Ops. Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Not at all, mate. Not at all. And Peter, cheers, mate. Cheers for being so patient, Peter.
No bother. Thanks for taking my call. Great show as always. And I'll listen to the show tomorrow night.
Yeah. And phone in, mate, if you've got anything to say.
No bother.
What about you, Juicy Bear?
Fantastic show tonight, Oxford. And for all the fans listening in, remember there's still another week or so left of this transfer market. So Gio and the board have still got some time to do some business, because we probably all agree that we want to get a few more players in. But let's not panic buy. Let's give him some time. I'm sure they've already been looking to bring some more quality in to help us. Because my goodness, we've got some crazy fixtures coming up, Oxchair, but we're in this for the long run.
Yeah, Linda.
Yeah, great show, Ox. Really enjoyed being on with your good self and Juicy. Exciting times ahead. Fantastic hearing everybody talking about the Champions League draw tonight and who we've drawn in the group. So looking forward now to Saturday, another big game with Ross County. So yeah, fantastic. Great show.
Can I thank all the callers? Too many to mention. Some great calls tonight, great debate. Thanks for everybody for the patience. We've had all Davey, Stuart, Ryan, Alex, Blue Star, Big Al, John, Peter, Ian, Warren, Raymond, and of course Juicy and the one and only Linda. But thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals, everybody for listening and taking part in our platforms. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. We'll be joined by the one and only Bridge. Jaffer will be with us. Yep. Jaffer and Bridge will be with us tomorrow night. But thanks for listening. Stay safe, everybody. Sorry, I got it wrong. GB will be with us, and Bridge and Jaffa. Young GB, Bridge and Jaffa. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. What a week to be a bear. Take it away. Old School Blue.
sea.